I figured why not speculate and give my pitch on what villain should appear in the DCU. I will say in advance, no Batman villains are going to be on this list. I think I could make a completely separate video on Batman villains that could appear just because his rogues gallery is so incredible. But this is going to be my top 5 villains I think should make an appearance in a pretty major way in the DCU. All of the villains on this list have had little to zero screen time on the big screen, but they are so deserving of it. So let's go ahead and jump into the list. At number 5 is Sinestro. The Green Lantern Corps is an aspect of this new DCU that I'm very much looking forward to, and there's plenty of villains you can delve into, but Sinestro is obviously the biggest. He is Hal Jordan's and much of the Green Lantern Corps' arch nemesis. He is the biggest villain in the Green Lantern world. The Sinestro Corps is the most synonymous enemy to the Green Lantern Corps, so it just makes a ton of sense to me. And Sinestro himself being a former Green Lantern is just icing on the cake. It adds so much to the Green Lantern lore and just the DC universe as a whole. There's a lot you can explore here. So Sinestro is almost a must in my eyes. At number 4 is Darkseid. Now, I think this is a villain that you need to build to. We did get some of him in Zack Snyder's Justice League, but Darkseid just always means more to me when you do build to him, when you don't get him out of the gate, because he's just not a villain you can really give us immediately. You have to build to this guy because he is just that kind of threat. He is in a lot of ways the Justice League's ultimate foe, which is why I would want him, but not until at least phase 2, maybe even phase 3. I think he would probably be near the end of the DCU, the ultimate big bad that the Justice League has to take down. He's personally my second favorite DC villain after the Joker, but I haven't really seen much on-screen adaptations of him that I love aside from the DCAU, which did him so extremely well in Superman the Animated Series, Justice League, and Justice League Unlimited. But outside of that, I haven't loved the character, but I can see a world where a live-action version of Darkseid would be absolutely phenomenal. If Marvel made Thanos work, I think that DC can make Darkseid work. I think Darkseid is a far more interesting and a far more powerful character than Thanos is. The only reason he doesn't rank higher for me is because I think there's just 3 characters that I'd like to see more of that haven't been given that spotlight on the big screen. And with that being said, at number 3 is the Reverse Flash, Eobard Thawne. I don't know why the Flash movie last year did not utilize this character. He is perhaps straight up the most evil bastard in all of DC. He does everything in his power to make Barry Allen's life a living hell. He goes out of his way to make this man's life miserable. He is the lowest of the low, and with the power he has, that is an extremely scary thing. The Reverse Flash has always been such an intriguing character to me because he is so obnoxiously self-centered and egotistical. Yet he has the power and intelligence to be a legitimate threat to anyone. He is kind of like the speedster version of Lex Luthor in a lot of ways. Probably not as smart because I think Lex is kind of the smartest person in the DC universe, but nonetheless, the Reverse Flash is a character I've been dying to see on the big screen, and I am really, really hoping that we get a Flash movie with him as the main villain. I think it will be a missed opportunity if we do not. Runner-up, it pains me to say, it's Deathstroke. I really wish I could put this man at number 1 because I absolutely adore the character of Slade Wilson. He is one of my favorites in all of DC, one of my favorite characters in all of comic books, but there is one character I think is so overdue for a spot in a DC movie, and we'll get to that later on, but runner-up Slade Wilson, the ultimate mercenary, the best assassin in all of DC Comics. Now, they've announced a Teen Titans movie. I would not be shocked if Deathstroke is the main villain of that movie, or with Phase 1 being Gods and Monsters, I could totally see Trigon being the main villain of the first Teen Titans movie. And if that movie were to get a sequel, which I really hope it does because I love the Teen Titans, I would not be shocked at all if it's Judas Contract and, of course, Deathstroke being the main villain of that story. In this universe, I really do hope that Slade is more mercenary than anything. I like Deathstroke more when he's just an assassin for hire and he's not really going out of his way to pursue personal endeavors or whatever it may be. I like him most when he's just a mercenary for pay and the business he's doing isn't really personal. He's one of the best hand-to-hand combat fighters in the DC universe, so I want to see him so badly in a live action film. I think they can do so much with this character. They can bring him into basically any property they want to because he is just that kind of character. He's probably viewed as a Titans villain more than anything, but I think by a lot of people, including myself, he's just viewed as a DC villain in general. He goes into so many different worlds of the DC universe. He goes up against the Titans, he goes up against Batman, he goes up against Green Arrow. He can go up against whoever you want him to because he is a mercenary. By far my favorite mercenary in all of DC, but at the number one spot for me is Brainiac. Brainiac is a character that is so overdue for a spot in a DC live action film. From everything Gunn has said, it seems that his Superman in 2025 will be Superman versus Lex Luthor, which I am entirely fine with. But I am so hoping that either Superman 2 or the first Justice League movie in this universe will feature the character of Brainiac because we are entirely overdue to see this character in live action, and he is a big enough threat to take on the likes of Superman or the entire Justice League. And I will admit, the past three entries on this list, everyone on this list other than Sinestro, I like them more as a character than I do Brainiac, but just as an unbiased DC fan, I think Brainiac is the most deserving villain of a spot in a DC live action film because he is just that important to the DC universe and the DC mythos. Like growing up, Brainiac is one of the first villains I came to know. I knew him before I knew of General Zod, and General Zod has been shown so much in Superman movies. But we never gotten Brainiac, which is so insane to me. We've only gotten him in the animated films, but technology has come so far in the aspect of live action. CGI has advanced so much that there is no reason that we should not get Brainiac in this new universe. I think it's a long time coming, and I think it will hopefully 100% happen if this universe is a success. We will get Brainiac in James Gunn's DCU, and I am really hoping for it. I'm rooting for it because I want to see Brainiac in a freaking Superman movie already. I'm tired of Zod. I don't want to say I'm tired of Lex because I think Lex is always needed in the Superman mythos. He always needs to be there. But I want Brainiac so badly as a main villain of a Superman movie, and even if it's in a Justice League movie, I just want him as the main villain in a DC movie because even though Brainiac may not be my favorite villain ever, he is up there. And in terms of threats in the DC universe, he is basically top tier. The only one that really ranks above him is Darkseid, in my opinion, but we've already seen some of Darkseid, so that's why Brainiac is at number one. I truly do think he's due and he deserves it the most, so let me know what you think about my list in the comments below. Let me know yours. What are the 5 villains you are most anticipating and wanting in James Gunn's DCU? I think we are going to get several, but these are the 5 I want the most. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you guys next time.